This is Ed McMahon with Doc Severinson and the NBC Orchestra inviting you to join Johnny and his guests and Margreat, Kelly Monteith, and Sue Raney. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Sure. Well, once again, you finished before I did. You sound like a good crowd tonight. In a good mood. Yeah. Good. We've got a good show for you. And I was planning during the monologue, I have 8 great political jokes.
Right.
But they're all campaigning in New Hampshire. We campaign too long in this country. It's just too many months before the elections to do this. 8 months away?
Yeah.
Now, the New Hampshire primary is next Tuesday. Now, one good thing about the primaries, it keeps the politicians out of Washington where you can do real damage. John Glenn's campaign manager told him today that the campaign isn't dead, but it does have a cold. I told Andropov that, if you remember. Did you, I like John Glenn. He's a hero, right? But did you read his comment after the Iowa caucus yesterday? John Glenn said, "It didn't turn out the way we wanted it to." Those are the same words used by Amelia Earhart's ground crew. But you can tell Glenn's in a little bit of trouble. His new campaign slogan is Glenn, a viable alternative to Reuben Askew. Now, today, Jesse Jackson found out why he did so badly in Iowa. He spent all the time out there trying to woo the Jewish vote. It's a guy named Irv in Des Moines. I'll tell you. The politicians, you wait now, the next few months is going to start to get nasty. Mondale, you hear what he said today about Reagan? Mondale said, Reagan provided leadership by amnesia. The reporter asked Reagan if this were true, and Ronnie said, "Is what true? Where am I?" Oh, this is an interesting item. According to the New York Times, item yesterday, Reagan has ordered the White House staff to shape up and lose weight. Yeah, called him in, said they got to lose weight. He's really serious. He called in Richard Simmons today. Can you see Simmons in the White House? Okay, Porkies, let's work on those love handles. Come on. Come on, let's go. Tell you the truth, I think I could live without seeing Ed Meese in leotards and leg warmers. It's got to be an unpleasant sight. And the White House is giving a $100 prize, right, to the staff member who meets his weight requirement by Easter. The $100, I think, comes from the Cutting the School Hot Lunch program. Some poor people showed up at the White House today and says, "Look, we lost weight during your administration. Give us the $100. They didn't get much of a laugh at the White House either. Today is Washington's birthday. Now, I know we celebrated it, when? On Monday?
Yeah.
Because they combined Washington and Lincoln's birthday, but George Washington's actual birthday
Today
is February 22nd. What year was he born? Anybody remember? 1732. 1732. Thank you. See, somebody?
Yeah.
Somebody remembers that. Are you still in school? Most people who've been out of school have no idea, but I just wonder, are you still in school?
No, I'm not.
Oh. How long have you been out of school?
8 years.
How'd you know it was 1732?
I don't know. I just remembered it.
Yeah.
Good.
Anybody else know? How many people knew it was 1732? Be honest. Sure. Oh, sure. Sure. Sure, you liars. You can't prove you're wrong, right? You know, if... Amnesia. What? That's amnesia, you're right. You know, if Washington were alive today, he would have come out last in the Iowa caucus. Language would never vote for a presidential candidate who could not eat an ear of corn. Do you realize if it wasn't for Lincoln and Washington, we wouldn't have any February sales at all? Okay, let's play President Birthdays again. You've still got the flu, right?
Yes.
You just got over it.
Right.
I had a touch of it last
Right.
week. In the paper today, the Soviet Union has a flu epidemic. 7 different cities in Russia. Everybody's getting the flu. Now, Soviet flu is a little bit different. The symptoms, for example, you have a high fever, you have the chills, you have the ache, upset stomach, pain, and you get an uncontrollable urge to call George Bush to see if he'll attend your funeral. Here is, this is the most interesting news item of the week. Western civilization is moving to China. China is opening its first fast food restaurants in the history. They're going to serve hamburgers, French fries, chicken, and salted duck eggs. Did you ever eat a salted duck egg? It's not easy ordering. You got to come in, take a number, and then come back in 100 years. The fast food chain is going to be called Charlie McMahon's. And when they say 1 billion served, that's all in one day. And when you order a hamburger, they ask if you want it in a hanger or a box. See, they make a lot of suits over there. I knew that. I knew that was going to get absolutely nothing, and I want to prove myself right. Wasn't much of the great interest in the paper today. If you're an archaeology buff, there was one interesting item. Archaeologists have discovered an 11-million-year-old whale bone. Did you read that?
Yep.
Japanese were angry when they heard a whale died of natural causes. Okay, I know you got to run. We have... Come on, we got a good show. We have tonight. We have the incredibly looking and fine actress, Anne Margreat. Oh, yeah. We have a very funny comedian, Kelly Monteith, is with us tonight. A gal who really can sing, Miss Sue Raney, is with us tonight. And a few other surprises. So thanks for coming. We'll be right back. Sure. Hello there. Okay. Now, I hope we can talk better on this show tonight than we did this afternoon.
Oh, well, that's
Ed and I
terrible.
got in a thing this afternoon. Did you ever get in an uncontrollable fit of giggling?
No.
Like in church, or was we were trying to do what we call a sales tape for a sponsor coming up, Eureka Vacuum Cleaners. And we couldn't get it out. It's for a convention of, I guess, they're holding for salespeople.
They're going to have fun watching that at that convention.
How many takes did we do?
About 8, 10? Oh,
We're trying to read it off of a teleprompter. We're saying we'd like to welcome all you we'll cut.
Yeah.
We started again. And what was
Well, the first thing you blew the word Eureka. That's only the sponsor's
I
name.
know it. What were you trying to say at the
I
end?
was franchise. If you were a franchisee, and I don't know what I did with that. Fricassee or
It just
something.
came out like, yes, if you were a friend, and the words just fell out. So let's try to get this together.
All right.
I don't know about this. It's kind of weird. This is from Victoria, Canada, Victoria, BC. How is this for a photo of little Johnny Carson, age 1? Looks so much like you, I had to send it. Does that? From May Hamilton, from Victoria, British Columbia, and Canada. Does that look like me? Well, no, it's
You were
true.
in British
I
Columbia?
was in Canada at
Yeah,
the time, but I
that's
have
right, yeah.
affidavits from 2 mooses and Bigfoot that I was with them on that particular date. Is that weird? A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. All right, as you know, the Academy Awards Nominations were made the other day.
Yes.
And the big annual event is, well, I should know this.
You're going to host it.
I'm going to be the master of ceremonies for
April
the
9th.
Academy Awards. And it'll be held April 9th, I believe, from the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion again. And nominated for Best Picture are Terms of Endearment, The Right Stuff, Tender Mercies, The Dresser, and The Big Chill. And some of the other contenders, I guess, that did not get nominations for Best Picture were Silkwood, Flashdance, Cross Creek. And I suppose that's the highest honor that a picture can get, right? Sure. Is to be nominated for an Academy Award. But as you know, well, maybe you don't know, there are hundreds of pictures up for contention. Nobody starts out to make a bad picture.
No.
You'll hope for an Academy Award.
The judges would like to give it to everyone.
No, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
A lot of people, pictures just happen to... It's carrying over from this afternoon.
Yeah.
They go unrecognized. We feel that these unheralded pictures deserve a little recognition. So we managed to get some publicity, what do they call them? That's it. From these pictures that did not get Academy Award nominations. You may have seen some of them, perhaps not. They didn't quite make the grade. You can watch the monitor and hear a few still pictures from these movies. This is a Western. Yeah. About a gang of obese female outlaws. In this scene, the marshal arrests the gang for eating the bank. It's called Blazing Cellulite. You can see why that was not up for an award. Now, this was a science fiction film about an alien creature who hasn't had a date in 200,000 light years, called The Good, the Bad, and the Horny. Didn't make it. Got no nomination. This was the latest remake of Jaws, Jaws 4. In this one, the desperate sheriff flips out, tries to run down the giant shark with his son's 10-speed Schwinn. Didn't get a nomination. And didn't get anything here, either. This was a horror movie about a New York pedestrian who gets injured when he's hit in the head by a huge personal grooming article that fell off the top of the Empire State Building. It's called King Kong's Comb.
Didn't get a nomination.
Didn't get a nomination. Walt Disney. Now, Disney usually makes pretty good pictures. This was called Pinocchio's Diner. About a short order cook whose chef's hat grows when he lies.
Didn't get a nomination.
Slow this down a little bit. This is a movie about the torrid relationship that develops between two Skid Row winos called The Flop House Named Desire. No. Look at it this way. You got in free. Because it would be a terrible thing to charge for this. Then you would have a case. I think you would have a case.
Yes.
You could probably get a good lawyer and get your money back. This was a musical about a Jewish dentist who was so unskilled that his patients would only let him do root canal on their Halloween jack-o'-lanterns. From the people who brought you Yentl comes Dental. From the producer of the intellectual film My Dinner with Andre comes this very lowbrow version, My Sitz Bath with Stanley. From the makers of the Blues Brothers comes The Blues Sister, about a twin woman who gets electrocuted by wearing wet high heels while talking on the hall telephone during an electrical storm, and I knew that was going to get zipped. Remember, Gene Kelly starred in this romantic musical as a letter carrier who falls in love with a girl who runs a string of outhouses for a rural mailman called Sittin' in the Rain. This was an Oriental Western that just didn't get nominated. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Sushi Waitress. In this scene here from the picture, Butch is choking on a chunk of raw fish, and his buddy Sundance saves his life by performing a Japanese first aid method, the Heimlich maneuver. Sure. You guys are way removed from this. It's the latest James Bond flick in which the villain dresses like Napoleon, owns an expensive French restaurant. It's called Escargot Finger.
It's spreading.
Should have started this earlier. It's a movie about a spinster cashier at a kosher deli who enjoys describing the largest pickle she ever saw. From the makers of The Big Chill comes The Big Dill.
And finally,
This was Dustin Hoffman's latest movie about a male actor who stays in drag one night too long, called Tootsie Gets in Trouble. So those are some of the... Didn't get a nomination. All right. Okay, if you just join us, Ann Margaret will be out in a moment, Kelly Monteith, and Sue Raney. I agree. We'll be back. Whew. Hello there. My first guest, you all know, she is the recent winner of the Golden Globe Award. She is the only American performer to win at the Monte Carlo Film Festival for that outstanding performance that played here called Who Will Love My Children? And she's now been chosen to play Blanche Dubois in one of the great stage plays of all time, A Streetcar Named Desire, which unfortunately airs March 4th, as they say, on another network. Would you welcome Ann Margaret? Animals. Come on, this isn't a bawdy show. A little decent respect for a guest. Hiya, baby. Did you expect that? Isn't that nice to hear?
That's lovely.
Did you ever get tired of the whistles and that kind of reaction?
Do you?
Well, I don't look like you do.
But you get a lot of reaction when you come out?
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You're getting it as because of the way you're looking as a woman and because of your talent. You are a fine figure. You're a fine figure of a woman. You know, Swedish girls, and you're Sweden. You're Swedish, right?
Of course, I've known you 19 years. You know
I know you're Swedish, but maybe some people don't know you're Swedish, right?
Ja.
Ja?
Jag är född I Sverige, I Stockholm.
I have no idea.
Yes, I was born in Stockholm.
Do that again.
Jag är född I Sverige, I Stockholm.
Now, you learn, obviously, I was going to say in Sweden, of course. What I mean is, but why did they teach English in Swedish schools? Is that a compulsory language, that you also learn English?
No. You don't understand. Wait,
well,
hold.
try me. I'm going to go very slow with me.
I know. You're having a rough time tonight.
Yes, well, you make me nervous.
By the way, where are those presents?
Never mind
that
that.
you supposedly sent
Never
me?
No.
I never received one
I know
present.
nobody did, and it just was one of those silly items in a paper that I had allegedly.
You know, the only thing I remember... The only thing that I remember was...
Yeah.
Remember one day you gave me this... this new Johnny aftershave or cologne.
Yes.
And he said, give this to Roger.
I did.
And I did. And that was the only thing that I recall
Thank you.
you giving me.
Well, that certainly
To
cleared
him.
that up. Anyway, tell me about now, they don't teach English in Swedish schools? Isn't that compulsory?
Well, I left when I was 6 years old before I started. They teach English, and they teach German also, and I didn't know a word of English, neither did my mother when we arrived here.
But you have absolutely no accent.
I know, but my mother has a very heavy Swedish accent.
Yeah.
She was about 27 when she arrived.
Yeah. The only thing I know in Swedish is älskling. Now, did I say that right? Älskling?
Yeah, you're very good at that.
Yeah.
I think it means darling.
Yes. I'm sure you've said it many times.
At one time, I did date, in between, at Liberty, as they say, a Swedish girl.
I know.
Let me try another one.
Yes.
Now, let me get this one. Humörtig dog?
Humoridag.
Humoridag.
Oh, jag mår bara bra, tack.
Right. What does that mean? What did I say? Does that mean how are you?
Well, it's how do you feel today?
How do you feel today? Humoridag.
Humoridag.
Jaha. That's not, yeah.
Used to be
Yeah. Swedish girls always look great. Some of the prettiest women. Is that the outdoor living? Is it the fresh air? Is it the... I mean, what gives you that healthy look? That... Isn't it true? You look at Swedish girls, they have a... I mean, you're the image of health. I suppose it's the fjords.
No, that's Norway.
Of course that's Norway. You see? Maybe it's Norwegian girls that have... Let me take a break here and regroup. I knew it was close in there. We'll be right back. We'll continue this in-depth interview. Thank you, Doc. We're talking with Anne Margreat. Before we talk about Streetcar, the last time I saw you was at the Emmy Awards the past year. And after Barbara Stanwyck won for her, I can't even remember what it was, to tell you the truth. Thornbirds. She got up on the stage, and you were in the audience. And what did she say? You must remember. It was one of the high moments of the Emmy.
I don't know. It was like a dream. And
yeah, she singled you out of all the people and said something about, paid you a wonderful compliment, which had to do, obviously, for Who Will Love My Children, she did.
Well, thank you.
And you were very moved. You just kind of sat there stunned.
Well, first of all, I knew that she would win,
right.
And I had met her a few years before, and the same man that did her dress did mine,
right.
So we met at fittings, and she said, "You're going to win." I said, "Would you stop? Would you stop? You're going to win. There's no discussion." So I, of course, was not surprised when she won, but then she started saying something, and she said the word entertainer, and I thought, who else of the nominees is an entertainer?
Yeah.
And then she said, Anne Margreat.
And the camera went in on you? And it was
I didn't know the camera was on me until we went home, and I said, Roger, the camera was on. And I couldn't believe.
It was a touching moment.
I couldn't believe that someone would be so gracious. And
so we were talking about you the other day, and somebody made an interesting remark about you take chances in your career.
Always.
Because when you started...
And in my life, too.
Yeah, well, you did a lot of what you call frivolous kind of films, when you were starting, and the critics kind of got on you. And then all of a sudden along came Carnal Knowledge, the Academy Award nomination. All of a sudden the critics realized you were a great actress, and then Who Will Love My Children, and now this. We cannot show a film clip of this tonight because it's on another network, but you did one of the great plays of all times, Tennessee Williams, Streetcar, named Desire. You played Blanche Dubois, and you are absolutely fantastic in it. I mean, wait till you see it. Wait till you see it. That had to be a terribly difficult role, because the role of Blanche, she lives in fantasy world half the time and then comes back to reality and then goes out a little bit bonkers. Yeah. You take a chance on something like that.
Yes, I'm still hearing voices.
Yeah. Did you meet Tennessee Williams? I understand that he wanted you to do this some 7 years ago.
Yes, 7 years ago I got word that he wanted me to do the part of Blanche. And the gentleman that he wanted as the leading man, all of us, we just couldn't work out the schedule.
Right.
And I was so fascinated that the author of Streetcar Named Desire, one of my favorite plays of all time, wanted me to do it. And I was just longing to ask him all these zillions of questions. What were the things about me that were like Blanche? What were the things about me that were unlike Blanche? And I had all of these things, and I never, when it came around again,
right.
I was free, and it was so eerie because I signed the contract. He knew, of course, that I was going to do it.
Right.
I signed the contract on one day, and the next day he died. I never had a chance to speak with him, and I'm in awe of his work.
It's too bad he didn't live to see your performance in this, because it's that good. And I've seen some reviews by the critics already, and they're raving about it.
Thank you.
Is there a little Blanche in you? Did you find any similarities in that person?
Luckily, not all were similarities. Yeah. The vulnerability, yes. I met, as a matter of fact, my last night's shooting was in New Orleans on June 30th, 11:10 p.m. I will remember it well. It was in between two of my cities. I did a 6-week concert tour 4 days after I finished Blanche.
You're kidding.
Yes, I was wacko. And then I met this gentleman in between San Francisco and Toronto. I did 3 days' work in New Orleans, who knew Mr. Williams. And 7 years ago, they had been talking about me doing the part. And one of the things, I said, please tell me what did he think what it was like and all. He said one of the reasons was my survival instinct in my personal life and in my career. And I thought that was very interesting.
She was a survivor. Of course, she went a little bonkers at the end.
But she would have survived if either Mitch had married her or if... See, when she really snapped, it wasn't after the rape.
When she was turned down by Mitch.
No. It was when her sister chose to believe Stanley, her husband, rather than to believe Blanche, because Blanche said to her sister that her husband had raped her when she was having a baby in the hospital, and she chose not to. She betrayed her, and then she snapped and went into a psychotic.
That final scene where they come to take you away to the funny farm is very poignant. That must be a difficult scene to play. Then, of course, it's got one of the great last lines in a play. I mean, not the last line of the play. I think the last line of the play is the game of 7-card stud, but Blanche's last line is that I've always...
Whoever you are, I've always depended on the kindness of strangers.
Yeah, that's what you do. You do it beautifully. Are you happy with it?
I'm real proud. I'm real proud of my performance.
Good.
And I'm real proud to be in that production.
Yeah. I'm going to look forward to it. It's March 4th, as they say, on one of the other networks. You can nail it pretty quickly.
ABC.
Now, don't have him cut... Don't have him cut that out. I mean, that's silly.
Well, that's the network it's on, isn't it?
Don't have him cut that out. I mean, that would be silly, right? What one was it? What? I don't know which one. ABC. Never mind that. I don't mind plugging it. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Now on our show. Oh, good. Excellent. Kelly Monteith is here tonight. He's a fine young comedian. He's had his own show on the BBC for the past 4 years, and it's now being shown in this country on cable TV, on the Arts and Entertainment Channel, I believe, on Friday nights. Would you welcome Kelly Monteith? Kelly?
Thank you for that nice greeting. How you all doing tonight? You got to be doing good. It was such a pretty day out. It's just beautiful. This is the kind of weather that brought me out here. See, I love the sun, although I don't get out in it, I got to admit, which you could probably tell. I have that kind of skin, you know? If I was any whiter, I'd be clear. I hate to lay out there. I can't do. I try. I'll go out, and I just go nuts. You lay out in the sun, and what do? You just lay there. I watch those little color things inside of my eyelids. It's like a little Pac-Man game going on in there, you know? And that's it. I go nuts. I just can't go out. And I'm afraid to go out because I am so white, because I know the sun's up there going, oh, look at this little white boy. I want to burn his butt to a crisp. And I just fry up something fierce. But I do miss it when I'm gone, because I spent about 6 months in England, and they don't have this kind of weather, of course. In fact, over there, when the sun comes out, people think it's a UFO. They don't know what the hell it is. So I always like to come back. I always anticipate coming back, but at the same time, I'm apprehensive, because I never know what I'm going to find. See, when you leave your house for 6 months, you just don't know what you're going to find when you come back. It's always surprises. I always have to walk in and kill whatever's growing in the refrigerator. Don't know what it is, but it's big and it's breathing, and the dog is missing, so I'm not sure about that. And I'll open the closet, and there'll be a bunch of empty hangers. But on the floor is a 300-pound moth. All these little designer labels around there, see? So I really, I hate to come back. I live alone now. See, I'm not married anymore, so I live by myself. And I can't, if you spend 6 months a year away from home, you can't really have things like plants or pets. I don't have a dog, even though I mentioned a dog. I had one, but see, dogs, I hate to have a pet because, well, they become part of your family. You know, I can't make rational decisions because I don't look upon them as a pet. I look upon them as almost a human, see? Because dogs, they have to have decisions made for them. They have no choice in the matter, see? They have no free choice in their lives. That's why Dobermans are so mean. Because as soon as they're born, they clip their ears and cut their tail. Well, that ticked me off, too. You know, fresh out of the womb. Boom, ow, hey! Damn, that hurt. So right away, he steamed, you see. So you got to figure, you know, if a Doberman's licking your face, he's not being friendly, he's basting you. Going to be lunch later on, because he's really ticked off, you see. So I just can't have a pet. I had a dog when I was married. I mean, I was married. Well, we had a dog. I wasn't married. I wasn't married. No, I had a very lovely, married to a very lovely woman who had excellent taste in lawyers. And we had a dog. She wanted to get the dog fixed because, you know, we didn't want to put people... It was a big dog, and we don't want to put people through that embarrassment, you know, when they come to the house. And dogs get amorous. They don't care what it is. They just, whatever it is, they try. You know, they jump up, and people take tours of the houses with a dog on their leg. You know. So I didn't want to put people through that. I said, yeah, we'll do it. But I thought they gave dogs little vasectomies, see? But they don't do that with dogs. It's drastic surgery. It's next! And I thought, I can't make that kind of decision for him. Because I relate to him as a male of the species, and damn it, I wouldn't want somebody to make that decision for me. Not that casually, anyway. Yeah, take him off. He'll never miss him. I couldn't do it, you know, and I wouldn't want to be around that morning when he woke up from the anesthetic and went down to clean himself, you know. There was something there yesterday. Don't know what it was, but it was the very reason that I bathed 15 times a day. Oh, wouldn't you? So I just couldn't do that to him, you know, because I looked upon him sort of as a person, as a human. Because, see, people say, well, the dog's almost human. I always used to think that was funny. But, you know, dogs have qualities that I respect in human beings. They have tremendous loyalty. Dog has undying loyalty, unconditional love. Even we can't attain that. Dogs love you. They don't care who you are, what you look like, what you smell like. They love you. Compassion. Dogs have tremendous compassion. That's where they differ from cats for me, see. Cats, to me, no, I don't... See, cats have no sense of humanity. They don't, you know. When's the last time you saw a seeing-eye cat? You know, you just... Even if they're trainable, they just be too unreliable. Where are you? The man is sitting in his room waiting for you to take him for a walk. I don't feel like it. I was out all night, so kiss off. I respect their patience, though. I watch them. I have cats that live around me, see, and I have a lot of pigeons where I live. There's a lot of pigeons around the house. So these cats, they have tremendous patience. I just really respect that because they'll lie up on the roof and they'll wait, see. And they'll just sit there, and pigeons are stupid. Because the pigeon sees the cat there, see, and they'll fly away. And they'll come right back to the same spot. Cat hasn't left. Cat's still there. Cat's going. This bird is stupid. Anything that dumb deserves to be lunch. And pigeons, they're around doing all this all the time. Nature played a cruel trick on the pigeon, because what she did was she tied his neck muscles to his legs. Because every time he walks, he's got to do this. Never see a pigeon just walking straight, you see. Never. It's always like... I always feel they get home at night at the nest and go, God, my neck! Because they'll sit out in front of my kitchen window and they'll look in at me and they'll do all that stuff, you know? And I'm walking around the kitchen doing the same damn thing. And I'll stare at them, boy. And they'll stare back. I'm looking at them thinking, you poor dumb bird. And he's looking at me thinking, I think I'll go dump on his car. Thank you very much.
Now, you've better get ready for the letters from cat lovers.
Oh, I
You know what
know.
happens every time you talk about cats?
That's right. People get incensed
Oh,
about it.
yeah, they are violent.
Oh, listen, I enjoy them.
I like cats. I don't love cats. You know,
Oh, I don't dislike them. I love them.
I feed something and pet them. I want them to do tricks and flip and run and get the paper, and
Yeah.
cats just sit there and look at you.
They leave.
Yeah, bored.
They get really ticked off, and then or when they're ready to sharpen the nails, they come over on a new sweater and do that kind of stuff.
All right, get ready for the letters. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. We're very happy Sue Raney could be with us tonight. She's an impressive song stylist. Her latest album has been nominated for a Grammy. Would you welcome Sue Raney? Sue?
What would you say if I did away with saying hello? What would you think if quick as a wink I started to show what's on my mind? Now I'm inclined to say straight away, I love you. How's that for openers today? Would I upset the right etiquette if I were so bold? Would you see red if I lose my head and just grab a hold? Whether or not I find that I've got to say, come what may, I love you. How's that for openers today? A moment ago, you didn't know this, madam, from Adam. Now you perceive that this madam's not Adam, but Eve. Better get said now that we met, I dig you the most. I can't conceive of no word to be the post. Now that I'm inclined to say, I love you. How's that for openers today? A moment ago, you didn't know this, madam. For I love you. You didn't know this, madam, from Adam. Now you perceive that this madam's not Adam, but Eve. Better get said now that we met, I dig you the most. I'm not a snook who goes by the book of Emily Post. Can't take the time to wait here till I'm all wrinkled and gray. So listen, and I will haul off and say, I love you. Love you. How's that for openers today? Thank you. A time for summer skies, for hummingbirds and butterflies, for tender words that harmonize with love. A time for climbing hills, for leaning out of windowsills, admiring the daffodils above. A time for holding hands together. A time for rainbow-colored weather. A time of make-believe that we've been dreaming of. time goes drifting by. The willow bends, and so do I. But oh, my friends, whatever sky above, I've known a time for spring and a time for fall, but best of all, a time for love. As time goes drifting by, the willow bends, and so do I. But oh, my friends, whatever sky above, I've known a time for spring and a time for fall, but best of all, a time for love, a time for love.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dynamite. Wonderful. Sue Raney. That's the way to sing a song. She's wonderful. Lovely. She is so good. That's beautiful. The album is called Sings the Music of Johnny Mandel with the Bob Florence Trio. She's got one of my favorite ones there. Suicide is Painless, the theme from MASH.
Oh, yeah.
Is wonderful. Thank you, Sue. We'll take a break. Fred, is that what that cue is? How about this one? Right. We'll be right back. Right.
Van Horn. Join Jan Rasmussen and me tomorrow on TGI4 for a look at some fabulous, and I mean fabulous, swimsuits for '84. Tomorrow at 4, TGI4.
And now on our show, no, I kid about Ed Sullivan. I miss Ed Sullivan. You know, it was one of the great shows where you could get brand new talent all the time. Did you ever appear on his
Never
show?
did. No, I was working strip joints about that time. So
Yeah.
I wasn't...
It was fun. It was, you would always, you'd always follow a bear act or something.
Yeah, right.
Tore up the house. And now it's comedy time, and you come out and die right in the thing. Ed kind of like that. You sit over there and go, told you it was no good. So you're going back to England and resume your show?
Yeah, I'm going back, and I'm writing the scripts now, and I'm going back in May for my 6th year.
Yeah,
Believe it or not.
good for you.
Thanks
for coming on tonight.
My pleasure.
Ann's show will be on, do people ever call you just Ann, or is it always Ann Margaret?
And Margaret. Mr. Burns calls me. No, Mr. Burns calls me Annie.
Ah, is there a hyphen in it? Can I say Ann hyphen?
Well, you can. It's Anne Margreat. It's Anne Margreat, actually.
Amagria. Amagria?
Anne Margreat.
Amagria.
No, put the T on. Anne Margreat.
Amagriat.
Perfect.
Good, thank you. March 4th, Streetcar Named Desire. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a super show. Tomorrow night, Suzanne Plachette, outstanding juggler Michael Davis, Ed Begley Jr. from St. Elsewhere, and testimonial to Ed Sullivan. We'll be seeing tomorrow.
Next on Late Night with David Letterman, meet comedian Teddy Bergeron and model Carol Alt. All on NBC. Be there.